Something that we were hoped that happened and it came true. And a lot of times when you have some dreams and dreams come true, they're special. And I'm happy for our community, I'm happy for our university, I'm happy for our president and director of athletics. And you know, it's just a wonderful day for all of us, from people who work on the grounds to all the way to the top, and I'm extremely happy.
Coach did a couple games in SWAC to get your first SWAC win. How sweet it was to get your first SWAC win against you?
It was great. It was great. It was a long time coming, and you know, we stuck with the guys, and nobody gave up. I mean, even you guys come every week and want to talk about our team, and you know, keep them going and keep them. You know, everything that comes into the making of the pie helps. You know, and I really appreciate our fans and our community for coming out, and they were out there in droves the other night. You know, I was surprised. People say that we don't travel well and all that, but you know, that's not true. You know, we travel as strong as we want to be, and I'm really pleased.
Last week you said that was probably the most complete, well 2 weeks ago you said that's like the most complete game you played. You think this past weekend against Jackson State?
It was. Offense, defense, and special teams. You know, we kind of gelled together, came together as one team, and you know, I'm extremely happy about the way we came together to play football. They came out of the chute when the game started. They were ready and came back out in the second half. There was no quit. You know, they stayed after, they stayed running, they stayed putting the pressure, and it made big things happen for us.
Coach, you're a good reader of people looking in the eyes of your players on the sideline. When did they start believing that they could win that football game?
I think they knew it all along. I think that, you know, the score was indicative of what was about to come, and it helped our players see that they were in a real football game again. And thank God for last week's game. I think it gave the strength that they needed from an interior standpoint of view to know that all we got to do is keep playing and see how this thing happens. And you know, as we build on this game and build as we move forward, I think no matter what the score is, I believe that they'll have the drive and the stamina to want to come back. If we do or not is a different thing, but I know the desire will be there, and that's what you need as a coach.
But to talk about the call for the winning touchdown, you had 8 yards to go to the first down, but you got 36 yards for the touchdown. What was the call on that play?
Well, it was a kind of a combination route, a flag route, a post route, and double flag routes. It was two outside guys who stopped on 4 hitches to bring the corners down, and then we ran flag. We had 5 wideouts in that series, and they stayed in the cover 2. So we sent one guy right down the middle, 2 guys to the flag to open up the safeties, to open it up, and the young man threw a dart. And you know, what a catch for that young man, Josh Price. I mean, what a catch. I was corrected yesterday. It was 30 years ago that Jerry Rice made the winning catch. You know, just like his nephew did against Jackson State to win the game. And you know, and it was great to look in his eyes and see how happy he was. And he'll develop from there and be a great athlete for this university. You know, we got 2 more years to go, and right now he's still a puppy, but what a catch for him to take away from this game.
Coach Comegy, number 9 on Valley and number 9 on Jackson State. I was told that they're brothers. Any truth to that?
They're brothers.
How do you know both of those guys?
Yes, I do. I know their family. I know their mother, and I recruited the number 9 down there. And I remember his brother coming down for a visit, but he wasn't, you know, at the time able to get into school yet, so he went on to a junior college and came on down here and had a great junior year, and he was going into senior year. So I kind of met back up with both of them again, and he comes down here with his brother and spend time on campus, and I get a chance to see Montez over at Double Quick eating that chicken, of course, you know. And so, you know, they got a great family, great people, and they got another young Ivy coming up that's in junior high right now that I got my eye on.
Quarterback?
Yes.
If you could look at the team right now and tell them about this upcoming homecoming week, what would you tell them?
The team itself, that we got to work hard. We can't live on last week, and you know, right now it was a great victory. I know it's hard to come down sometime, but they got to come down quick if they want to have the season they want. If they can't just live on that one game and think, well, now the season's over and let's go ahead and, you know, ride the rest in. I mean, there's a lot of challenges out there, and there's going to be a lot of challenges after they have big victories in life. And so, but yet still, you can't just stop there, because it's not what you do today, it's what you do tomorrow.
Coach, what dictated the switch from Alex to Peterson?
Well, you know, it was time. You know, the setting was that they were blitzing us, and obviously, not that he knows it, but he's not as good as runner as Quintavious, and so We spread them out because they were getting to us, and you know, they were sending both linebackers, inside backers, and outside linebackers. And so once we got them spread out, now it's time to run on them. And so we had to get our best running quarterback in the game. So Peterson hurt him with his legs, and then he came back and threw that dart, you know, at the end of the game because they were thinking he was going to take off running, and he stepped up, and he stopped and brought the safeties down, and bam, and he hit that pass and he connected it right on the money. And so, you know, we saw that we can spread them out. We had to spread them out because they were sending linebackers all, you know, during the first half, you know, onto our quarterback.
Coach, in the middle of the field during the interview, you did say that you had your offensive coach to go upstairs and look down. Why is that important?
Well, you know, I want him to get the big picture. A lot of times, you know, we get to a point where we think we can see it all from the sideline, but you really can. Most of my coordinators are upstairs. Coach Hayes does a tremendous job upstairs, and you know, Coach Gregory, you know, coming from high school and the third what he did, he kind of had to do his own thing, and so he felt, you know, naturally he felt it's only human that he could see it all from the sideline, and he probably could, but when you go upstairs, you see front and back. You get the big picture, and I think he's sold on that now, and the communication to the field was excellent. I think Sean Anderson did a great job, Coach Black did a great job of bringing the information that they received down and feeding to our players, and I think it worked out just beautiful for us.
You talked about Jarrell Moore not being able to play on Saturday, but Hobson stepped in and did a good job.
Dobson did a fantastic job, and he's got it in him. He's, you know, ran that way. He just had to learn the plays and get himself set to where he made a commitment to learn what we're doing, and he did. And he was in the right spot at the right time the other day, and you know, came in with a super big play when the ball was snapped, laid on the ground, and he came back, scooped it up, and took it for a touchdown. That was a big play for us, and we were able to tie the game up at that point. You know, he's a tremendous player, and he can run inside and outside with great speed. You know, and I think we got him back another year, which is going to be devastating when it comes.
Coach, I know this early on in your career here at Valley, but you think that win was a signature win, not only for you, but for the program? Because I heard
it was.
Guys like B. Jackson.
It was. You know, I think, you know, in college ball, we all have to buy in, even coaches. You know, I mean, when you're not doing well, you kind of know, not sure if you know, this really working for us. Can our kids really, you know, everybody, you know, I'm just not going to say the kids because I'm not blaming it. Everybody had that little bit of unsurety if this is the right combination. And I think after this situation has taken place, if people pretty much sold on getting out there and just, you know, going through our system rather than trying to buck it. And so I think from a psychological standpoint of view, we're settled into the system.
Last week you had some distraction because it was Jackson State you guys were playing. This week is homecoming for you guys, a lot more distraction. How are you going to get the team through this for Saturday?
Well, you know, we're going to turn up the heat, and we're going to be highly critical of mistakes. I think that's what brings them down. I think if you miss mistakes this week and you pat them on the back and you saw that error and you just said nothing about it because you're happy about the win, then we're involved in something going wrong. We have to be highly critical on even success, and I think that's our approach. That's my approach. When they come down here to watch film, every little mistake, if their toe wiggle wrong, you know, we want to let them know that, hey, you can't play football like that here. And so, you know, I think those type of things and demanding the best, continue demanding excellence. You know, I know we can't be perfect. You know, only one man in this earth is forever perfect. But I think chasing perfection will surely catch excellence.
Coach Comegy, it was 1:43 on the clock, and I looked over from the end zone, and I saw that they start celebrating already. Why did they have that type of confidence that with 1:40 on the clock?
I think
they jumped all over you.
I think the defense was playing well and doing a good job. When the defense had to come out, they still had time on the clock to score. But our defense was playing real well that day, and they were putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. That front was. And so then we went into our zone concept. They had a great receiver, and that young man by the name of Danny Williams. He made some tremendous catches on us, jumping over our defensive backs. But the fact is, we had to try to zone blitz, stay back in the zone concept, and then still put the pressure on them, and it worked for us.
Coach, the fact that Valley State hadn't been Jackson State in 19 years speaks for itself to know that we haven't win. But some folks at Jackson State also are happy that you won the ball game. How does it make you feel?
I have a love affair with a lot of people in Jackson. I mean, they were all my friends. They were close to me. You know, They came to my wife's funeral when she died in Jackson. They were there with me when my father died, and they knew he was my best friend. And so, you know, we had it was family. It was family there. And so, you know, I've never lost that family, you know, and I'm creating another family here. And so, you know, I'm happy to where I am, you know, being here and, you know, working at Mississippi Valley State University. But, you know, some of the ties that you had and love affairs that you have will always be strong in your heart, you know. And but this is, I have you know, my job right now is to develop these young men into the finest student athletes that I possibly can. And when I say student athletes, that means on and off the field, and that's what I'm here to do.
I noticed in the clarity of yesterday, the embrace of you, the Jackson State quarterback, Ivan. So that speaks to the bond that players and coaches have.
Yes, it does. You know, we were close. We were very, very close football teams. And, you know, a lot of those guys I recruited. And so, you know, that bond never stops. And you never stop thinking about them. And you hope that when it's all said and done, that the young men that call you from Mississippi Valley State to say, "How you doing, Coach?" Those same guys that you knew back there will say, "Hey, Coach, how you doing? Remember when?" You know, things like that, you know. And so, you know, it's a lot of delight even when you're out of the game, I believe, because you treat people like you want to be treated. And that's the only way you can live in this world, I believe.
Coming off that huge win at Jackson State, what are you expecting for this homecoming for the crowd that's coming Saturday?
Well, I'm expecting a big crowd, that's for sure. I hope they come out and support the team. And I know that this football team is a good football team coming in. Their quarterback is tremendous, and they got good wide receivers, and they got great team speed. And they hustle to the football because their head football coach is defensively oriented kind of guy. And so he's going to be even though they got a coordinator, he's going to have his hands on that defense. And them having 2 straight wins, they got momentum going right now, thinking if we continue winning, we may be able to get into this race. So, you know, and us right now, you know, we're not in the race, but yet and still, we're trying to find our identity as a good football team. And that's enough right now. You don't always have to get that championship right away, but having that identity that, hey, we can play ball too. Don't walk in here thinking, you know, we're going to just roll over now. And I think that's the attitude that I want to take going into this ball game. You know, don't walk in our park thinking that you're going to come in here and get something. You know what I'm saying?